Hey everyone, and welcome to AI Pulse, where we're getting you the latest AI news made by AI. We're here to take the temperature of the industry. Ready? Let's get right into it.
First off, Happy New Year! It is officially 2026, and after the absolute roller coaster that was 2025, I think we all want to know, what's next for AI? What does this new year really have in store for us? Because, let's be real for a second. 2025 was the year that OpenAI, the undisputed king of the AI hype train, kinda stumbled. A lot. And that brings up a massive question, right? If the giant at the top is looking shaky, where does that leave the rest of this AI revolution?
So, to figure out where we're going, we first have to look back. We've got to unpack the really challenging year that absolutely shook OpenAI to its core.
Yeah, it was a year of nonstop firefighting for CEO Sam Altman. He admitted that the huge launch of GPT-5 was, and I'm quoting here, a little more bumpy than we hoped for. And honestly, as you're about to see, that might just be the understatement of the entire year.
And wow, this timeline really lays it all out. It was just one thing after another for OpenAI. The year kicks off with a surprise competitor that just explodes onto the scene. Then their own big product, GPT-5, totally flops with users. After that, their biggest partner, Microsoft, starts cozying up to the competition. And to top it all off, Google's Gemini just flat out beat them on performance. It was a relentless, nonstop storm.
This right here, this shows the new reality perfectly. OpenAI was scrambling to catch up, right? They pushed out an update, but it was just too little, too late. When you look at the really critical benchmarks, stuff like multimodal reasoning, Google's model, which was leaner and faster, was already pulling ahead. For years, Google was playing catch-up, and then, boom, suddenly they were in the lead.
Okay, so this corporate battle has some serious ripple effects. And this is where the story gets even bigger. Because we're not just talking about code and benchmarks anymore. Nope, we're talking about money, power, and a ton of electricity.
So, to try and claw back their lead, OpenAI has lined up, get this, over $1 trillion in spending. I mean, that number is so huge it's got everyone whispering about an AI bubble. And this isn't just some high-stakes bet for one company. A gamble this big could have massive consequences for the whole economy.
And here's the real-world cost of that $1 trillion bet. This AI arms race, it's creating a totally insatiable hunger for electricity. We're talking about data centers in the US and China just gobbling up power at a shocking rate. It's happening so fast that the demand is actually starting to outrun our ability to create new energy. So yeah, we could be looking at a serious power crunch, all because of this race for AI supremacy.
But this high-stakes race isn't just about the power grid, it's also creating a really deep social divide. We're starting to see what some people are calling parallel worlds pop up, a split between the people who are all in on AI and, well, everyone else.
Jack Clark, he's the co-founder of Anthropic, one of OpenAI's biggest rivals. He put it like this. He thinks that by this summer, the people who are using the most advanced AI, these frontier systems, will be living and working so differently that it'll feel like they're in a whole other reality compared to the rest of us.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. It's happening right now. Just take a look at this Reddit user. They've basically turned their whole digital life, all their messages, emails, everything, into a personal searchable AI. They're using AI agents to code for them, even renovating their apartment with zero experience, all with AI's help. Their productivity is off the charts, but they admit there's a downside. They're starting to feel really disconnected from other people.
But for every one of those power users, there's someone who is deeply skeptical. On the complete other side of this divide, you've got people like this Reddit user. They think the tech is just fundamentally flawed. They point to the hallucination problem, where these AI models just confidently make stuff up. And they argue that all this hype is doing is pumping up a massive bubble that's going to pop hard.
Okay, so with all this drama, you've got the corporate showdowns, the talk about a bubble, these parallel worlds, you might be thinking, so what? What does any of this actually mean for me? Well, let's switch gears from all that high-level stuff and talk about the quiet revolution that's happening right in your pocket. See, while all these giants are duking it out for supremacy with these flashy, mind-blowing demos, something else is going on. It's a quieter kind of progress. It's not going to grab the headlines, but it's all about making the tech you use every day just plain better.
And that's the key takeaway, really. 2026 looks like it's going to be the year of practical, real-world upgrades. We're talking about things like semi-solid batteries that could give your phone a whole extra day of juice, Wi-Fi 7, which means your video calls might finally stop freezing. AI agents that live on your phone and can actually summarize that boring meeting for you without needing the cloud. Even stuff like smart rings that track your health without a bright, annoying screen. These aren't vague promises. They're actual fixes for everyday frustrations.
You know, this quote from journalist Florence Santrot just nails it. She says, "Tech is no longer trying to impress us at all costs. Instead, it's finally trying to become invisible. And that might be its most promising evolution yet. It's this idea that tech should just get out of the way and help instead of constantly demanding our attention. It's about tech that's reliable and actually useful."
So that leaves us here, at the start of 2026. AI is really two different things at the same time. On one hand, it's this epic war between giants, costing trillions of dollars and pushing our power grid to the limit. But on the other hand, it's this quiet little helper that's making our phones last longer and our Wi-Fi less frustrating. So the real question, as we head into this year, is this: how do we actually measure success? Is it all about the AI that wins the benchmark war? Or is it the technology that just makes your day, a little bit easier?